Hey guys, Scourge McDuck or SMD here, bringing you some more replay reviews. If you would like to buy private coaching, you can do it on Medify, the link can be found in the description. Or if you would like to support my team, we have a merch store and the link to that can also be found in the description. Okay, so in this game I actually randomed Faceless Void. I had a few games before this where I was picking pretty try-hard heroes and they didn't go too well. So I figured I would just sort of random for fun, to be honest. And Faceless Void is what Valve gave me. I mean, yeah. I wasn't really, like, tilted or anything, but I certainly didn't want to just pick another really try-hard hero after losing 2 games in a row, picking try-hard heroes or whatever. So I randomed and I got Void and I, played for the win. I kept my Fairy, Fire, and Mango. Some pros will kill their Fairy, Fire, and Mango when they random, but I mean, it's a pub. It's kind of for fun. It's for practice too, but it's kind of for fun. And, you kind of want to win. So I randomed. They counterpicked me. I'm at a disadvantage already. I will keep my extra Mango and Fairy Fire personally. And I did. And at some point, the Mango actually does help me get a Chrono off, I think. So that's kind of funny. But, yeah, they picked Beastmaster. Pretty hard lane for me to play into. I'm not sure if Anti-Mage is good against Void or not win rate-wise. I think it should be Void favored, to be honest. Let me try and look real quick on my second monitor. So it looks like it is Anti-Mage favored by quite a bit on the win rate. But yeah, I mean, this guy's Grandmaster Anti-Mage, so I guess he thinks it's good against Void. I feel like you should be pretty able to reliably Chrono an Anti-Mage and kill him. So yeah, not sure, but I guess win rate wise it's fine. Your E is magical damage on the extra bonus damage of 30, but the secondary attack that it procs should be physical. But yeah, apparently it's not that good win rate wise for the Void. But yeah, lane starts off okay. Nothing too crazy happening. I bought a stick because Beastmasters sometimes like to spam axes. This guy, I don't think he's used it too much yet. He has Boar skilled. But I have no real AoE to kill the boars, so it's a pretty hard lane, and it goes extremely poorly, to be honest. So this is a game where I'm definitely coming out behind in lane. The enemy's got a pull off. I got my item there, so I don't really care that my courier died, but the enemy's got a pull off, and it's the skeleton camp, which is like the best for killing your waves. So I lost a lot of creeps there. So yeah, lane's really close to his tower. His damage when he's not using axes is pretty gradual, so using time lock doesn't really do much. It's not really like I'm getting bursted, but there he axed me, so I time locked away to try to get some of the heal. Yeah, I mean, my CS is okay. I'm comparable to him, even though he has more denies than me. But in my experience, it's fine too. But the wave's just always out, so there's no real potential for us to play aggressive, and we have to play a little more passive sometimes too. I have to like look here and try and help my support because he's getting out-traded by the Shadow Shaman. So yeah, we're pretty much just playing to survive in the lane at this point. It's yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what to say about it more than that. So just trying to farm. Lane's been out, don't really have kill potential. My CS is fine. Losing all 3 lanes by a little bit. Losing bot lane by a lot, actually. Anti-Mage has a kill, 2 assists. So yeah, at this point, so this is something too. This is one of the things I want to point out. So this lane's really hard, just by the nature of the heroes. And then my support, he's died once, and then he TP'd bottom after he spawned. Or he's mid, actually. Let me see, actually. Or maybe he did. Yeah. So he died here at like minute 440. And then he spawns. He TP's bottom. So I have a really hard matchup already. The siege is coming. I have no more regen. And my support has left. So there's literally nothing for me to do top. If you actually watch the Weaver video, the Weaver carry video I uploaded just before this one, you'll see how I stayed top and died, and then my tower died anyways. So in this game, in that game too I was ahead, but in this game I'm behind. So it's like, in my bot lane's, I mean, it's not going good in this game, but in the other game it was getting really demolished and they lost their tower. So in this game we have a bot tower, and it seems weird, but like I cannot solo top. My Earthshaker doesn't want to TP top, and he wouldn't really help me if he did, and his TP's also cooldown. My mid laner is losing by quite a bit, and he's not level 6 and has no rune or bottle charges or boots, so he doesn't want to rotate either. So no one's going to come top, so I'm just going to sit here until my tower dies and potentially die. And sometimes, like if you're like a Spectre or something, that could be what you want to do. You just sit here, and maybe you even pull the camp and kill it and try to get some creeps, and then potentially you can like do a cheeky play where their siege goes into the tower because this pull here, and you can walk over here, and if they contest this pull, you can aggro their melee creeps away from the tower, so the tower only attacks the siege, and you can pretty reliably get the siege last hit too. I think it's 3 or 4 in game. You know, I know it and you can visualize it, but it's 3 or 4 tower attacks, and then normally you'll be able to right click it. If your damage is really low, you won't get the last hit always, but you normally will on most carries at that point, like by minute 5 with your stats and your levels and your items that you bought. But yeah, but then, so yeah, you get their siege to die, or if it doesn't die, you maybe farm a small camp, and then you farm the waves here that just killed your tower. But I don't really want to do that in this game. I don't want to waste, like, it just sounds like way too long in this game. Like on Spectre, and I'm a Void, I can't really jungle at all. So like Spectre, you can like kind of dagger creeps in the jungle and things like that. But I'm just gonna go to my heroes. I don't want to just solo top and wait here and watch my tower die and potentially die myself. So I TP bot, and we're just kind of doing quad lane here. And we have a siege, so we're pressuring tower with it. And we actually end up taking the tower before the beast. So this was... And I got the tower last hit. So this was unironically like an amazing play in this game. It worked out perfectly. I mean, maybe there's potential where these guys can TP and the tower doesn't die and beast gets top tower and it's not good. But like staying top is definitely awful. And in this game, not sure. I guess they weren't able to defend this. And I got the last hit, so it went really great. I mean, my offlaner, I don't know what's wrong with him. He was like last hitting some of the creeps when I was here, and you know, so I got a little less farm overall, but I got these creeps here. I got the tower last hit. It's going pretty great for me. Trade with this guy. I have the bash, so even though he's mana burning me, I have the mango that I got for randoming. So I traded with him a bit there, and that's something else that I guess someone I recently coached. So Slark TP'd into his lane, and they just left. They didn't even try and trade with the Slark or anything, and they were pretty ahead. They were at like 1,000 gold ahead of the guy, and they were like a Morphling who has pretty high sustainability with his morph attribute shift or whatever. So look, when this guy comes and starts to mana burn me, I don't just let him kick me out of the lane. I hit him, I trade, I have a mango. Look, he's scared now. I wait, or I stay. I try to finish my creeps. I guess I missed one. But I got the other two, so I finished farming my wave, and then I leave. And the reason I leave, too, I mean, like, I feel like I could keep bullying him, and another reason why I can bully him here, too, is that I have extra creeps. So when he trades with me, too, when he walks up and attacks me here, all of these range creeps start attacking him as well. So, yeah, but I can't go any farther, because then it's just too close to his tower, and his team can TP and set up on me and kill me. So I have to give him these. But I didn't just let him take all of the creeps from me. And now I just try and pull, deny some creeps from the anti-mage, and get the lane back so I can farm safely. And like I said, Void's not really good at jungling. You don't really have sustain other than your Q until you have Mask of Madness. So, having the creeps tank the large camp for me makes it easier for me to kill. And they're helping me deal damage to it too. Yeah, but the camp wasn't really a full camp or anything, so the wave didn't get reset that much, but it did get reset a bit. But I don't really want to walk towards this anti-mage because I don't know if they're coming on more heroes or not. So I probably just walk back to the large camp here. And I do, and I probably just pull it again, and I do. And I farm it, and he tries to trade with me, so I trade with him. And I mean, honestly... Oh, wait, no. Well, I have a shovel. I don't remember if this mango was a shoveled one or the random. I think it's the mango I got from randoming, still, to be honest. But I pop it in my stick, I believe, and I think we kill him here. Yeah, I pop my mango in my stick and we get the kill. I sadly didn't get the last hit, which is really unfortunate. You definitely want to be getting the last hits when you chrono. It's a really long cooldown, similar to like Spectre. Whenever you ult, you want to get a kill, and you're pretty much using it as like a Midas in the early game to accelerate your farm. So Oh, and also one other thing I want to point out. So yeah, when that anti-mage came to lane and tried to like bully me out, I traded with him. The person that I was coaching was 1,000 gold ahead, and I was like 200 behind the anti-mage, and I didn't let him bully me out. And I mean that is going to be matchup dependent. Like sometimes the hero just bullies you out, but don't just like give it to them for free or whatever. Yeah, so now I have a Morbid Mask, so I have Lifesteal, so I can, you know, farm the jungle easier. There's a sentry in here. I probably should have denied it sooner, but I didn't, but I eventually deny it. I believe. Just playing down here, farming a lane. You don't really want to farm the jungle too much on Void because you just don't farm it that fast. You're not like Luna or Medusa or Terrorblade having, you know, illusions or multi-shot attacks that help you kill jungle camps really fast. You're not like a PA who buys a Battle Fury. You're not like a Bristleback or a Slark who have their abilities that help them farm. You're a Void, and you just attack creeps until they die. So it's better to be in lanes usually, so I'm trying to play towards the bot lane as much as I can. Game's going really poorly though. They picked Beastmaster in a pretty free Beastmaster game and had a really free lane, and they're just running at towers now because they won all 3 lanes. Here I am farming a pretty deep wave, but that's just because they're showing a lot of heroes mid. But that wave is a little risky when you farm it that deep. Yep, now I'm just sort of farming these camps around the lane and going to go back to the lane when I feel safe. My team actually smoked me when I had Chrono, so I Chrono, and I don't think I get the kill again. I'm pretty sure I got another assist. My Witch Doctor got the kill, so that's really unfortunate, but I'm getting my team a kill every time with my Chrono, so it's okay. I think I die here. Yeah, I just went in a little too aggressive, maybe. I'm not sure, honestly. I feel like if I don't get shackled, I can own really hard. I think my guy stunned poorly. Yeah, he was hexed when yeah, his stun's just really bad, to be honest. Yeah, I think he just stuns when I get shackled because Hex is already used, and then it's super free. He just walks away so he doesn't get silenced by this guy, and we own them really hard. Like, this silence doesn't affect me at all. I can use my stick and I can use these seeds or whatever and go into strength treads, and I'll just own here really hard. And if I get roared, maybe I die, but it should be like they should clean up on everybody, and maybe they still do. But looks like, yeah, they do still. The Beastmaster ends up dying, but he traded for the Void Spirit in the end. I'm pretty sure this just goes way better if this guy just stuns this guy when he shackles me. He just like panic stunned the second he got unhexed. Like, if he gets shackled, I just kill them. I bash the guy. Yeah, and then if I get shackled, he should just stun him, and it's super free. Some big misplay from my support. And I mean, yeah, you need to trust your team though sometimes. I can't just like play super passive because I don't trust my team. But I trusted him too much there. Didn't work out. So now back to farming. I can kill Ancients now that I have Mask of Madness. I think one other person I coached, they were playing Void, and they didn't really think you could farm Ancients until you had a Maelstrom. But you certainly can with the lifesteal from your Mask of Madness, as you can see here. Again, I'll just show one more time, I guess. So, just, yeah, you can just kill Ancients. You don't even have to watch. You just sustain with your bashes. I guess skill build I didn't really mention. So, I think sometimes people max their Q in lane if they're against a heavy nuking lane, like a Caudle or a Lina or a Rubik potentially. But I went for Bash because having Bash maxed when you have your Mask of Madness and your Chrono just allows you to actually kill heroes, whereas having your Q maxed doesn't. So it's definitely more like a aggressive build doing this rather than passive build that sustains you in the lane. But also I think some people max time dilation against like Batrider only, but I haven't tried that. So they go 1-4-1 and that against Batrider just to kill him and make it so he can't really ever go on you by having a lower cooldown. I think is the biggest reason why maxing it's the most important. But yeah, I mean, everything just gets better for the most part when you max it. You get more duration and more DPS. It costs more mana, but you're against a Batrider in that case, so you'll have stick charges. Maybe against like a Bristleback or an Invoker or something, it could be viable to get more points in your W early. But I don't play that much Void, even though I am gold tier, it says. I just played it for a few years ago. I played it when it was really strong, but ever since then I really have not been playing the hero much, even though it has been meta. But yeah, this game I randomed it, but after I randomed it I tried to pick it a few more times, and I lost all those ones, but in this game I did win. So try to defend the tower a bit. They have Beast and OD, so I can't defend it. And here, it's pretty important to note that I'm farming these Ancients really defensively because I'm afraid of them walking in. So had I just been standing here, you know, it's harder to walk away, and it's harder for my team to connect. If I'm here and they TP and connect, they're closer to where I am. And I have more time. Like, if he comes from behind this tree and I'm sitting here, he can probably roar me right away if he has a Hawk, especially. So by playing over here, I see him sooner, is the big thing. And I'm also closer to the next camps. If no one contests, I can just walk to the next camp and I'm closer to them already. But yeah, I'm farming really far up right when I see him. Oh, I actually didn't go to Strength Treads. I should have, but I believe I live here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I have a stick. I should have switched to the Strength Treads instantly, but I'm pretty safe. But he does do an insane amount of damage. Did he have... He had, like, the 2 mini Mud Golems. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. His damage was actually absurd. I'm not even sure if he used them all. Maybe that's why I lived. He only used 1. I think I live anyways. I certainly live if I'm on Strength Treads regardless. But, yeah, I should just swap Strength Treads. And honestly, after I go to Strength Treads, it's up to me if I want to try and finish the creeps and force his abilities like I did, if I think I'm safe, or if I just want to queue away because I see him and I think I've got enough creeps here and just give him the rest. But I get roared, I queue away, I try and heal off these creeps, I use my Q a bit, I use my stick actually. These creeps are kind of owning me, it was a stack. Can't really farm stacks without a Maelstrom. I bought Javelin just for the extra damage. You have high attack speed and the time lock procs, which can proc the Javelin as well. So it's just more damage in your chrono than the Mithril Hammer, because I'm going Maelstrom. So some people go Midas and then Maelstrom BKB, but like I said, I don't play much Void, and I talked to one of my friends who plays a lot of Void who's pretty high ranked, and he said he just likes the Mask of Madness, and I think I like it too. I think it's just more damage for your chrono. It might honestly be worse for farming, for experience and gold if you're just Midasing large creeps or whatever. But it's more sustained in the jungle regardless, and I think it's better for chrono DPS. So maybe Midas is more viable when you have a lot of damage in chrono. In this game I do have a Witch Doctor to play with, so maybe I could have went for a Midas, but maybe if you have a Snapfire or a Sky or an Invoker or yeah, Witch Doctor, Jakiro, any of those heroes, maybe going Midas is more viable. But I went for the Mask of Madness here. Like I said, I don't play much Void. But yeah, I mean, I'm the highest net worth core in my team. Game's been going pretty poorly. They have the 3 highest net worth cores. They forced a Roche really early with their map control. They did Roche before getting any tier 2s. I have Chrono up now. I got a pretty nice Chrono there on 2. Got glimpsed away. Killed the Anti-Mage. The Aegis on Beastmaster for some reason. So yeah, I was able to Chrono the Anti-Mage. I knew he didn't have Aegis. And you know, Void, this hero makes me pretty anxious, to be honest, using the Chrono. I just feel like, historically, I end up Chronoing awfully. I just Chrono my entire team, and no one on the enemy team. Or I Chrono too many people on my team, and then just have no damage to kill the enemies that I Chrono. But that Chrono is pretty nice, so this game, you know, felt pretty good, coming from someone who is pretty unconfident on this hero or whatever. But yeah, no Chrono, so that's pretty much how you want to play this hero in the early game and in the late game as well or whatever. In the early game, you want to Chrono heroes and then farm. In the late game, you want to Chrono heroes and then play with your team, pretty much. You don't really just want to farm in the late game. You want to just play with your team, though, while Chrono's down. So you don't just get like picked off or anything and die. And they don't just get picked off and die. But you don't really want to force the fight. You just want to play with your team, and if the enemies run into you, you want to leave. Like, if you have other stuns, you stun them and leave with, like, Shaker or Witch Doctor in this case, or Void Spirit. But yeah, I don't have Chrono here, but I see them diving, so I connect, and I kill the Beast. I'm not really getting much of these kills, which is pretty unfortunate, but I think I got the kill on the Anti-Mage in that last fight where I Chronoed, maybe. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of assists, which is kind of annoying. I could be a lot higher net worth if I was getting all these kills that I've participated in. Have Chrono, though. We smoked, we looked for OD, couldn't find him. I do farm a bit here, even though Chrono is up, just because I don't want to waste too much time looking for kills. If they're, like, if I'm just not showing, and they're going to play a little scared, right? So, you know, they're going to play scared whether I'm farming or not. So and then it's just going to be hard to find them. So I decided to farm a bit. Here I found a DD and look for a fight, but my mid has already died, so it's pretty awkward. I don't want to, Chrono and then just die afterwards or whatever. Get hexed or silenced before it or word during it or whatever. So even though I have a DD, I just decide to back and I go and farm Ancients because the fight's just really bad. My whole team is dead. Break Eagle behind. really hard for me to fight into him 1v5. So I use my Dagger of Ritzel to farm with my DD, which is actually a little unfortunate because right here the anti-mage showed really aggressively top. So I look top, I see him killing the siege. I'm not sure if I glyphed to try and bait him or if someone else glyphed, but it may have been me. This game was a few days ago, so I don't remember. But I TP and I just Q in and chrono him. And if I had my Dagger of Ritzel, it'd be a lot more damage, but I do have my DD still going, so I just chrono Mask of Madness. Here, let's see actually, because I'm a pretty greedy player. Alright, so a lot of times I'll int treads when I TP, and I'll int treads for things like that. I was wondering if I have enough mana to use all of my abilities, and if he blinks away or anything, this would be really bad. So I was just curious if I int treads for anything here, but I'm pretty sure I just, I just stay on the strength. Or I actually did. I actually did. Like I said, I'm pretty greedy. So I int treads for the chrono, time walk, Mask of Madness. I'm sorry, I find that really funny. I didn't do it for the TP, but I int treads for my abilities. Here, which is just funny because if he lives, it's like really bad. I'll probably die, and I have the damage and I have the mana to support using all of my abilities, so I find it pretty funny that I went to treads for it actually. But then I immediately went to adi treads after using my 3 abilities, my alt, my Q, and my Mask of Madness or whatever, and I was able to kill him in my chrono. So one other thing with skill build is before they just nerfed time dilation recently, it was somewhat common to go stats over extra points in it, and some people will skip their talents for stats as well, and also some people will skip chrono points for stats as well. So I mean, it all just depends on, like, you, I guess, what you like, what you think, and like the enemy's heroes, I guess, if time dilation is more value in the game. But there's a lot of different ways to go about the skill build, but I opted for stats here. I think, I mean, they have anti-mage, so chrono costs more mana. That could be bad against the anti-mage if I lose my mana. I think OD can also drain mana with his ult. They reworked this hero so much I can't really remember. But, so it could be good to skill it, to not skill it for the mana cost. But yeah, it goes up 0.5 seconds each level, and the cooldown goes down by 10 seconds. So I mean, it's okay, but I just opted for really heavy stats in this game. And I'm skipping my talents. Normally though, the talents you want are just back walk, or the left one at level 10, time walk backtrack duration by 0.5 seconds, then 1 second off time walk cooldown, and then chrono attack speed, plus 95 chrono attack speed. And then I personally think you always should take plus 20% backtrack. It can get broken, but yeah, disabled by break. But just crazy strong, 20% more like effective HP. You can block like Lena ults and Lion ults and everything. And anti-mage's mana burn attacks and all that stuff. So yeah, I got a nice kill with Chrono on a core. So slowing the game down is good, especially when you're behind. So I can get Chrono to come back up and take more team fights. Killing a core like that is super value. Not sure if I just accidentally blocked that camper, if it was blocked already or what, but just farming now while Chrono's down. See a bit of a fight, and I have BKB, so I can connect a little bit, and this guy blinks in too aggressively, so I get another nice kill while Chrono's down. Super nice to ever get kills while Chrono's down. And we're taking a full team fight with no Chrono, and got 3 kills, and I got 2 of them, and I got a kill streak as well from the Rasta, the Shadow Shaman. So really nice. Now just farm until Chrono's up, and then we can look to start playing aggressively maybe. We've been behind all game, and we are slowly coming back. I'm actually highest network now too, which is pretty insane, seeing it as they took so many towers and Anti-Mage had a really free lane, and he had like kills in lane, and he has a Battle Fury and should be able to farm. But I've just shown up, got some good Chronospheres, got a nice Chronosphere on 2 after they roached. Maybe their Aegis should have been on Anti-Mage or something as well, but putting on the Beast was probably a big mistake. I'm not sure if it was intentional, a misclick, or just him like trying to troll or whatever on Beast. But yeah, I think this fight goes really poorly though. But yeah, I got some nice Chronos here and here. Got some nice, all my Chronos have been fine, and like no one's died on my team, and everyone I've Chrono has died, so I'm doing pretty well. Chrono the 2 backliners here. Maybe I should have went and hit the Rasta here, but you don't move fast outside of Chrono. I guess he died anyways to the Witch Doctor Maledict. But yeah, I didn't use my Dagger of Ritzel here, I think, was the big mistake. And that's a really nice item to have on Void, because you use it and then you Mask of Madness, so you heal up the health really quickly, and it also gives you more attack speed as well, and 40 damage is a ton in the early game when you find this item. But yeah, if I used that item here, I would have killed this guy, and then I could have TP'd out, most likely. Yeah, he has no mana for Roar, and he's already used it. But I didn't, and then I just stayed here and tried to kill this guy. Honestly, if I used it, I maybe could have killed both these guys or something. But yeah, I didn't use it. Or maybe if I even had an extra point in Chrono rather than the stats, he would have died. Yeah, but none of that happened. Just, I don't know, if I just clicked my dagger, he would have died, and I could have lived. But that fight went really poorly. I think my Chrono was fine, though. My team probably just came from a bad angle and died too early. Yeah, so the Ancients were blocked. So yeah, I don't know. I just die again. It's getting kind of clowny. I've been playing pretty well. I was highest net worth, and now Anti-Mage got a Rampage, and I died again. So I'm not farming. I'm losing gold for my deaths as well, and he's getting kills and farming during this entire time. So now he's a ton of net worth ahead of me. So yeah, I mean, some big throne going on by me. Those deaths are certainly not good. I don't remember what my other death was, to be honest. The first one. Yeah, so here too, yeah, I don't know. Game's getting rough. So we spawn. Anti-Mage is playing really aggressive when we spawn. We think we have the damage to kill him. We don't have our Mjolnir finished yet. Maybe that's why we don't. We would have had the extra attack speed coming out from it. Yeah, I hid in the trees too to try and get him to show, and I got my Void Spirit in the Chrono. Maybe he could have chain stunned after. I think he already used his Q though. Yeah, he could have chain silenced after, but he has a Manta on Anti-Mage that he hasn't used yet. But yeah, I just don't have the damage to kill this guy after him getting all those kills. He has a completed Butterfly now, actually. Yeah, it's actually so close to me killing him too. And guess what? I'm surprised that Anti-Mage's win rate is favored, because look at this. He has a Butterfly. Like, he has 5k gold more than me, and was he low? Maybe he wasn't full HP to start. I mean, he's only missing... I mean, he's missing a fair bit, to be honest. And my Void Spirit used a few spells on him, too. And he's tanking some tower shots. Honestly... Is there a tower glyph there, too? I got the tower in the Chrono. Maybe, yeah, the tower's glyph, too, actually. And I got the tower in the Chrono. If the tower wasn't in the Chrono, maybe this guy even dies. Oh, my. Once again, I used my dagger that time. Did I use it late, honestly? I used it a bit late. That's what's interesting about just Void in general. Like, the Chrono placements are just really important. That's why I honestly don't like this hero much. It just gives me anxiety looking at these plays about how maybe if I had a little more to the top left too, even I could have got this disruptor in it or something. Yeah, it feels bad watching it in hindsight. If I used my dagger earlier, if the tower wasn't in it, if I didn't just do that bad death bottom or those two bad deaths, I would have had my Mjolnir, and we certainly kill that guy. But it went okay. The supports ended up dying, and Anti-Mage was too low that he couldn't fight, and we're able to secure Roche now. They're too afraid to fight into us, even without Chrono BKB, just because they have 2 supports dead. They don't want to take a 4v5. So we got Aegis here, and I got Shard. Yeah, the Shard was nerfed a lot, so yeah, like I mentioned, the 2 main builds were Midas or Mask of Madness into Maelstrom, BKB, Mjolnir, but previously, last patch, before they nerfed the Time Walk, it was the same thing, except you would buy a Shard before BKB, or if you think you needed BKB really bad, you would buy it after. But yeah, it was nerfed pretty heavily. So yeah, the extra cast range that it gives was nerfed by a lot. It was 300 or 400, I think, and now it's only 150. So yeah, it was 300, it says here. So yeah, big nerf on it. And they also nerfed your alt attack speed on the level 20 talent and your W. So we've got a lot of nerfs recently. But yeah, it's still a good Shard. So I get it from Rush. More cast range, the ability to go back after you cast your Q as well. And here we get some silences on him. Weren't able to kill him. Yeah, we have Aegis though. Even without Chrono, we can look for fights without Chrono now because we have Aegis. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Didn't really find too much. Anti-Mage went on the backline though, and we were able to kill him. They go on me. We get a Fissure to cancel the shackles. End up killing him. I end up losing the Aegis. Still don't have Chrono. Yeah, that was a misclick or something. I mean, I clicked it on purpose, but I'm not sure why. I just wasn't thinking straight because I don't play this hero that often. But I tried to go on this guy, and I don't know. He has no roar or anything. I should have just stayed and attacked him and killed him. But I walked back over and kill him anyways. And then actually I saw the OD, and my Void Spirit went on OD on the side, so I actually switched targets again. So I don't really want to fight near the roster wards here. So when I see the Beast, I switched targets from like this OD who's walking towards this Disruptor and roster wards. So I switched to this Beast, and my Void Spirit's also closer to the Beast. So we try to go on him. And Void Spirit goes on OD, so I react to his move, and we kill the higher priority target, the mid laner rather than the off laner. And then yeah, now we feel strong to chase into these roster wards. And we get another kill here, and he gets the last kill there. And we're back to farming, and that was a fight without Chrono. We did have Aegis though to start, and the anti-mage went a little aggressive on the backline and died. Pretty like poorly probably, but looking pretty good now. Now we have Chrono, and we almost have MKB to counter the butterfly, so we should be able to take another fight here. And OD is caught on the mid wave. We smoke and killed him. Didn't use Chrono. Still have Chrono. We're looking for another kill. Well, he's dead. We found another one. Still, once again, didn't have to use Chrono for it. Every kill you get without using Chrono is great. Got a third kill. Didn't use Chrono for it. Now I'm looking for this anti-mage. I think my Shaker like fissured the wave or something. Maybe we could have killed the anti-mage, but we're unable to because of us showing or whatever, or him playing too safe. But still have Chrono. Still looking for kills. They've spawned now, though, sadly. We weren't able to continue the chain feeding. So we're pushing waves in. Yeah, I'm going Lincolns now. So Lincolns is just for the Hex and the OD and the Roar and the Glimpse. Just a good Lincolns game overall. So coming to this fight. Got shackled for a while. Chronoed the Beast and the Disruptor. May have not had to chrono them, to be honest. He had no Roar, but it worked out. Anti-Mage tries to go in on me, and I'm saved by my team. They stun him, and I just attack him, and he dies. Got an Ultra Kill now for myself. Back to being the highest net worth in the game. So really good fight. Now I'm level 25 as well, so I wasn't there. I got it after the Anti-Mage died, so I have the backtrack now for the next fights. Like I mentioned. Have my Lincolns finished now. Blood of Clarity as well. And they get another kill on Shadow Shaman, so this is buying time for Chrono to come back up so we can look for another team fight. And now our team has the gold lead as well, so fights should just get easier at this point, assuming we're playing around our Chronosphere being up. They killed OD in the mid lane again, just buying more and more time for the Chrono to come up. And we kill Rosta here too, and he wasted the Rosta wards on his side of the map, so and we get a tower, so just buying more time. Chrono's now up, getting more of a gold lead on our team. Just trying to sweep across the map to find heroes and use Chrono again. But yeah, I queued up on the hill to try and give my team vision so they can fissure, and then time walked away just in case though. They're slow pushing pretty well, pretty hard to find these kills. I think the Ross just, yeah, he BKB'd Hexed and he was going to try and shackle me, but I got forced away. Good force staff from my team. So here is a fight now. It's breaking out finally. After we've been looking for a fight for a while. So we fissured the OD. I went in, killed the OD without having to use Chrono, or tried to actually, but he got his ult off. And then, yeah, so this was pretty cool, I guess. So AM goes on me and tries to burn my mana, and he does burn a lot of my mana, but I have BKB, so now he can't burn any more mana because it doesn't go through BKB, and I don't have enough mana to use Chrono, but I Tread Switch, and I'm able to Chrono him and use my Mask of Madness now and kill the Anti-Mage. So, you know, Tread Switching wins games, guys. And, you know, I bought the Clarities earlier. I have 3 Clarities in my backpack, actually. Because actually, I keep mentioning these people I've coached recently, but someone else I coached recently, I think it may have been the same guy I mentioned a few of the other things, but I've mentioned, you know, a few different people. But they were just not buying any Clarities ever. They bought no mana regen items and bought no Clarities, so it was really awkward for them to take fights, and especially against Anti-Mage. Look, I show up to the fight on full mana, and then I have just enough mana for my Mask of Madness and my Chronosphere after Tread Switching here. So, yeah, I Tread Switch here, and I have just enough mana for Mask of Madness and Chrono. I have 15 to spare afterwards. And if I came to this fight without maximum mana, you know, it probably doesn't work out then. And, you know, maybe if you got a lucky or bash or whatever, it doesn't work out. Or maybe if I got, you know, bad luck on backtrack. There's so much small things in Dota that can swing the way things go. But we kill the Anti-Mage and win the fight. Trying to just heal a bit and push the lanes in. Now going on the high ground. Anti-mage is still dead for a while. He's getting close to spawning, so we back for Roche. Like I mentioned in I think my last Weaver carry replay, the video uploaded previously to this one, was some people I was coaching weren't playing on Roshan enough, and they were just going high ground and losing the game. My teammates sort of died somehow after we Roshed. We should just group with Chrono, but they got picked off, and they said sorry on their chat wheel because I guess they know they messed up. But they should just play with me with Aegis, but the enemies try to push and they just can't because we're too strong. We did use the buyback on the Void Spirit, which is pretty unfortunate. If he dies, they could have a potential window to come back into the game, but we're just super strong. Looking at tier 4s now with our Aegis. What happened there? Let's see. So they bought back Disruptor, and yeah, so we just kite a bit. Trying to assess the situation. We see Anti-Mage. I didn't BKB for the Hex, sadly, so he lived through the Chrono, actually. My Mask of Madness is backpack too, so my damage is a bit lower. So maybe he would have lived anyways, but we get kills. So that was a not great Chrono. The Chrono here wasn't great, but other than that, this Chrono here was a little questionable, maybe wasn't needed. This Chrono here I think was good, but my teammates were playing pretty poorly and I didn't click my dagger of Ritz Soul or whatever. But overall, most of the Chronos have been pretty good. The Chrono on the Anti-Mage top, super game winning, killed their carry when we were really behind. The Chrono on the Anti-Mage here with the Treads Switch, super game winning, killed their carry in the team fight by swapping Treads. So, I mean, yeah, Void, I don't know. You know, if you like Void, play Void. If you don't like Void, don't. But, you know, don't be too hard on yourself if you have bad Chronos, if you're trying to learn the hero. And try not to listen to people either, because a lot of times that I've tried to learn Void, I've tried to learn Void a lot in the past, and it just goes really poorly, and I get really demotivated and stop playing this hero. If people are being toxic, just mute them and try to focus, or just start with them muted, honestly, because I think this hero, it can be really stressful, because Chrono is just like such a powerful ability, and if you're good at Void, you know, you can just win games that look unwinnable like this one. But I think I went over everything. I went over the talents, I talked about the skill build, I talked about the item build. I got Axe from Roche, I think. I don't think you should ever really buy it, but if you get it from Roche, sure, take it. But, yeah, I honestly don't think there's much more to talk about. It was a game where we were really behind. I think, honestly, a big part of us winning was maybe the Beastmaster taking the Aegis too, and I'm not sure if that was a misclick or anything like that. But mistakes do happen, and if it was a mistake, you know, we capitalized on it and chronoed the Anti-Mage and killed him. And then I got a few other clutch chronos on him too. And even though I, you know, had that bad chrono bottom, and then chain fed into a death, and then tried to chrono again, and I didn't have my Mjolnir because I just died twice, and my chrono placement was a little poor. And I made those mistakes, you know. I played well enough that I was able to win this one.